Good evening. Welcome to our official day one, official first class in the Visionary Parent Academy 2024. Today is about parenting with a vision. Now, in the academy, when we begin, the very first thing we do is we want to craft our parenting vision. One of the things I always say to parents is that every parent has a vision. Yes. Now it is when you see parents, they call their children doctor this, professor this. You even see names parents give their children these days, and you feel, why this kind of name? Because every parent wants a vision. Have you ever seen a parent who doesn't want a child to end well? I have never seen a parent who doesn't want the child, who doesn't desire for the child to end well or to live well. I have never seen. That is, it simply means every parent has a vision. So what is the problem? What is the problem? I remember back then in school, in the university, there was a friend of mine who was from a very humble background, and then she was dating a guy who also was from a very humble background. Every time the mom would tell her, Gracie, see your mates, they are dating rich boys and all of that, see the person you are dating, it simply means that the woman had a vision for the child. She just did not want the child to struggle the way she was struggling. That was it. I also have a personal story to tell. I remember one time after my university, my dad said to me, of all my children, you love to read books. You are the one that is, let me use the word bookish. You are the one that is most bookish. So what I'm going to do now is that when I get my pension, I'm going to have you go to UK to further your studies. Before he could even or go abroad, before he could even finish it, my mom came from nowhere and said, no, when she gets to her husband's house, her husband they will do that. And that was it. And years down the line, I've shared this thing very many times. Years down the line, I'm from Edo State, and if you know, before now, the typical mindset of the average Edo State is that going abroad, having your child abroad as a family is almost synonymous to success. So years down the line, my mom was talking to me one day, say, for my children, no one is even abroad. Now, wow, my parents are educated, though. They're educated. Now, wow. I looked at her, and in my mind, I was like, are you kidding me? You actually desire to have one, two, or some of your children abroad. You desire it. And when your husband said, oh, I will sponsor you abroad to further your master's, you said no. That's in my husband's house, I was going to do that. Now, what is my point? My point is every parent I know, they have a vision. They desire certain success for their children. Like I've said previously in my videos on Facebook and YouTube and other videos, it is why your child misbehaves. Maybe you hear your child stole something. The next thing you want to do, you want to quickly modify that behavior. You want to yell, you want to smack, you want to do all sorts of manners. Why? Because you don't envision your child ending up in jail. That is not your vision for your child. No, you don't want to raise a criminal. That is not your vision for your child, Now, it is why you actually want to modify that behavior. Again, every single parent I know desire for their children to be successful. However, what is the problem? What is the issue? The truth of the matter is, as much as we desire our children to be successful, a lot of parents don't even have the whole knowledge of what it means. They don't even know what success means, for example. And even when they know what success means, they don't know how to craft their vision in such a way that it leads it actually is achievable. So in the Visionary Parents Academy, the very first thing we do is to craft our vision. Now, remember, when we talk about success is not one fold. Unfortunately, in this part of the world, Nigeria, when we talk about success, we talk about money. That's why people keep saying, oh, I turned that well, despite XYZ, I turned that well. You actually want to look at them. Why are they saying they turned that well? Because they have a job, they earn good money, They are comfortable, they can pay their bills, and they feel they turned out well. So the first thing we want to do as a community in the Visionary Parent Academy is to understand what success means to us as individuals. What success means to you may not be what success means to me. Now, this is why in this group we learn parenting for ourselves. We learn parenting for ourselves. Yesterday at the orientation, I encourage you to take action. And one of the things we do is we are committed to research. You are going to research by yourself. Every month we have topics we are going to research on. So you carry out your research yourself, and in our Zoom meeting we share. You share your research. You are going to research on the parts of your vision. You are going to know the path that leads to your vision particularly, and you are going to follow that path. Enimia Orebo is my name, and welcome to the Visionary Parent Academy, our first official class for the year. We'll have our classes on YouTube Live. Now, feel free to share the link. Feel free to invite your friends. Now, this is a free class for all. After the class, we are going back to the group where we are going to share our worksheets. We are going to have our task. We are going to further the conversation. We are going to hold ourselves accountable. We are going to craft our own vision individually. We are going to craft our vision, and we'll have other things we are going to do. Because like I said, it's one thing to have the knowledge. It's another thing to achieve your result. You don't achieve results without taking action. So in the group is where we actually inspire us. In the group is where we push us to take action. So yes, today's topic is parenting with a vision. What is a vision? Someone said nice. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for that. Please leave a comment and feel free to share and invite your friends. Like I said, what is a vision? Is your end, the big picture, the end result. So the very first thing I want you to do as a visionary parent, remember when you are coming to class, come with your pen and your biro. Always come with them. I have my own, because sometimes I'm passing information and I'm teaching. I have my laptop here too. Sometimes I'm teaching and I just get a lot of inspiration. I said to myself, I go back and always watch my videos. From my videos I learn, because as I'm talking it's just coming, so from my videos I learn. So I also take notes and all of that. So you make sure you take notes, so that one of the reasons you take notes is at the end of the class you go back and read it. Another reason you take note is that at the end of the year, if you realize you are still struggling with your parenting, you bring your notes. You say, this year I learned, so I actually learned. Now me not take action. So you will blame yourself, and then you go back to your notes and you start all over again. So always make sure you take notes. So I was talking about parenting with a vision. What does it mean? It simply means to parent with the end in mind. Parent with the end in mind. Have the end in mind as you begin to parent. Like I shared my own personal story. My mom had the mind of, her children going abroad. One of her vision for her children. My friend's mom had a vision of the girl marrying a rich man. That was her vision. So a lot of parents, all of us, we have visions for our children. That is it. The end in mind. What end do you envisage? And when we talk about end in mind, there are different aspects that come together to define success. What end do you have in mind when you think about economic for your children, like financial end? What end do you have in mind when you think about spiritual end for your children? What end do you have in mind when you think about, let's say, relationship with you as the parent, relationship with the siblings, relationship with the spouse, and all of that? What end do you envision when you think about that? What end do you envision when you think about health for your children? There are different pillars of success. You want to sit back and look at them and ask yourself, what does success mean to me? At what point will you actually say, okay, my child is successful? Or at what point will you say to yourself, you are successful. So the first thing you want to do is to sit back and ask yourself, what does success mean to me? When my child is 50 years, my child is 60 years, my child is fully independent. Let's say my child, I always say these things when I talk about parenthood division. Let's say my child is going to make it to headlines. My child is a big star or something. He's making it to headline. Or my child, not necessarily a big star. My child has something like, my child is making it to news headline. What headline would that be? Is it, Noel Orebo finds cure to cancer, or Noel Orebo, that's my son's name, finds cure to cancer. Noel Orebo, what do you call it, found or finds cure to COVID-19 or COVID something. Noel Orebo was captured helping the people in XYZ community, helping them. Noel Orebo built borehole for these people. Is that the kind of vision you have for your child when your child is making headlines? Or you sit back and ask yourself again, is it, this time around I will not use my son's name because it's negative, or XYZ arrested for rape, XYZ Yahoo boys caught and mobbed, or XYZ arrested for domestic violence. Yes, everywhere him and his wife, they fought, they did this, they did that. Just sit back and ask yourself, what kind of headline will you want your child to make? Because these are all headlines. They are all headlines. We read about Osinachi. Many people did not know Osinachi's husband until he made headlines, right? So that is the truth. So what kind of headline will you want your child to make at any given time? That is your vision. So if you have not thought of the headline you want your child to make, sit back and think of it. The headline I want my child to make at so. That is your first start. Whether you are a visionary parent or anyone, note it. The headline you want your child to make when your child becomes an adult. What headline? When it comes to spiritual matters, godly matters that have to do with God, what is the headline? Is it XYZ denounces God? Is it spiritual matters? What headline do you want your child to make? Let's look at the other one. Relationship headline. Is it XYZ beat his wife, or she beats her husband, or she was, what headline do you want your child to make? Let's look at economic headline. Caught stealing, caught defrauding people. What headline do you want your child to make? That's the first task you actually want to do. You want to sit down and note the headline you want your child to make in the different aspects of success, how success means. Now, after writing that headline, there is something again you want to do. Now, remember, it is parenting with a vision. Like my parents, my mom wanted me, probably headline, UK based or US based Nigerian woman did XYZ. Probably that was the headline she dreamt of. It's not enough to actually want a headline. It's not enough to dream of a headline. It's not enough to envision it. What matters is, how do you make that headline achievable? Now, for the visionary parents, we have very many of us who were in this academy last year. We are here again. It simply means that the academy is doing something good. So what you want to do, you have gone through this class before. So what you want to do is to sit back now and reflect and ask yourself, I've heard this message before. I've taken these exercises before. Am I actually living that path? Am I living that path? I hear a lot of time people say, oh, the devil come to steal, to kill, and to destroy. No doubt about that. Is that what you want to say? Because when you don't do what you are supposed to do, you now give the devil a room to come in. At the end of the day, you blame the devil. Is that what you want to do? If that is not what you want to do, then you want to actually sit back now. Like the first thing I said is, what headline do you want to see? What headline do you want to read? That is the first thing you want to do. In the academy, we are going to look further into this particular headline. We are going to look further into it when we go back to the WhatsApp group. Now, the next thing you want to do now, take this headline, break it down. Look at people who are making this headline. Look at people who are making this headline. Break it down to, okay, what did they do to actually achieve this? Oh, you see that Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook, everywhere. What did the parents do to help him achieve that? That's one thing. I don't remember a particular guy I read recently, a Nigerian guy who is making so, I don't know why I forgot his name, who is doing so well abroad. What did his parents do? I'll look for his name. What did his parents do? I remember one time I was researching on this. I read a lot about people. I read about the former NAFDAC DG, the late one, Dora. I read about her and Dr. Dora, Professor Dora, sorry. I read about her and I learned something profound. The father was not educated, but she knew what he wanted for the daughter. So what did he do? He literally shipped her to an uncle who was in the city, who was educated. I think he was even in the teaching profession, because he knew his uncle would be able to help. My grandma also did the same thing to one of my aunties, that is even my mom. My mom went to school today because she did not grow up with my grandma in the village, because my grandma realized that I don't have what it takes to actually raise this child the way I want. So she sent my mom to live with a relative who was a teacher, who was not even a first relative, who was a teacher. That was how my mom became educated. She did that to say my auntie, who is a doctor today. So that is parenting with a vision. However, our parents, our grandparents, parenting with a vision style was narrow-minded. That is the word skewed or something. So we'll talk about it in briefly. So the very first thing I want you to do, like I've said, is for you to sit back. What headline do you want your child to make? We always want success. Oh, we want our children to be success financially. Do you know that you require skills that reflect in your everyday parenting choices for your child to be successful financially? So if you want your child to be successful financially, what do you know about raising financially successful children? Parenting these days is not just about winging it. No, you cannot wing it. You actually need to learn. Now, what does it take to raise financially successful children? How many financially successful people do you know? What does it take to raise them? That is one thing you need to do. You break it down into every single day. I know very many people I know them, very many people who actually have lived, who went from grace to grass. You know, life kind of shone on them. You know it. I'm sure you know them. You know celebrities. You know very many people. I'm sure life favored them at some point of their lives. I know a banker. He was a bank manager at some point. Life, yes. Yes. Thank you, ma. You are following. Life shone on him. So he was a bank manager and all of that. I think Allstate Bank. I don't remember the one of those banks that kind of, at a point when the bank was distressed, they were cutting down staff. They cut him. That was how a bank manager, he was nowhere. Today, he's literally struggling. Another one told me that, see, he was a bank manager. He was flying all over. He was enjoying with his wife and all of that. One day, his driver took him to a place. They were going somewhere, and his driver passed a particular road. And he saw the name of the road was his driver's name. So he just told his driver, is this a family thing? In his mind, it was his driver's father that probably was the first person to buy a land and build a house there. The place was not very developed. He said he was surprised. The driver told him, no, sir, it is, I was the first person to buy a land, buy a property and build a house here. That is why it is named after me. That is my house. He looked at him and asked him, how did you do it? He was a bank manager. That was his driver. He was living in a rented apartment. The driver said, because in the bank, in those days when banking was really banking, you know, where when every girl wanted to marry a banker. So, and every girl wanted to become a banker. So he said they had a cooperative in their office, and at the end of the month, at the end of the year, every person gets pays, every person get paid. So that money, it was compulsory, it was a rule in the cooperative that you must use the money for something capital. You must use the money. So that used to fund your children's school education, used to buy a property. The money must not be wasted. If you are found wasting your money, you are let out of the cooperative. That was it. He told the man that every member of that cooperative has a house. Like those that don't have a house, not fully built, they have it on the way. He said he was surprised. Like even after then, he said he did not get the sense to go and get started until he was literally thrown out of the bank. Until he was literally thrown out of the bank without investment or anything. So now the question is, you want to raise financially successful people, children. That is your vision. You know, you want to see your child, oh, Africa richest man, world richest man. It's a vision for some parents. How are you going to achieve that? What are your daily parenting choices that will help your child achieve that? Now, one of the things I always say to parents is that don't copy everything you see on social media. Have your own parenting vision. Understand the child you have and run with it. A couple of days ago, about a week or more than a week ago, I was on a particular platform and someone asked, what can my 13-year-old or something like that preteen be doing to earn some money? Excuse me. And people were all against her or against him, the poster. Is it money that should be thinking now? Should be thinking of school, should be thinking of education, should be reading. I sat back and I said, if I had the time to comment on this post, I will ask them, you want the child to be schooling, what is the end result of schooling? Ask me. The end result of schooling is economic empowerment. You are sending your child to school so that at the end of the day, your child will be able to earn a living, whether you agree that it is it or not. That is the basic reason. That is why you either send your child to school, you send your child to go and learn a skill, you send your child to go and learn a trade. They are all the same for economic empowerment. Now, this person asking this question may have seen some things in his or her child, entrepreneurial tendencies in his or her child. What does he want to do? He wants to start the child up early. After all, schooling is still towards economic empowerment. The child has a strength in this. It's not going to stop the child from schooling if the parent knows how to structure the child's time and help the child structure his life from tender. It is going to be very advantageous. But almost everybody on the post was against the parents. Now, this is why I say, have your own parenting vision. Seek knowledge from the right places, because not everyone is actually knowledgeable. You know, so I was asking, if you actually envision your child like that, what do you need to put in place? Everyday parenting choices that will lead to it. Now, one of the things our parents did not do in those days is they had a vision. They did not make the choices that aligned with the vision. They never did that. Like for my mom, she had a vision of some of her children going abroad. So when she had an opportunity, her husband would say, oh, she did not make that choice. Probably if I said, okay, yes, that's a good idea, let me go, I would have ended up abroad. Wasn't that one of her visions? Yes. But they didn't do that. I have someone on Facebook I follow, and I think her child is interested in this acting, music, and all of that. Guess what? She has used her influence, her connection to link her child with people who can help her child do that. However, some of our parents also did that, but it doesn't stop there. One of the things they did not know is that there are other skills the child actually needs. Wanting your child to be financially independent, to be financially successful is one thing. Another thing is your child needs skills. Your child needs skills. That is what some of our parents missed. It is what we are not going to miss in this time and era, especially as things are going. Let me give you a practical example. R. Kelly could have been said, or could be said to be very successful in his career. Success in career. Success in career, he was very successful. But where he is today, he lacked other skill to go on. Whitney Houston and the likes of them, what happened to them? They lacked other skills to go on. We had one Nigerian, the owner of Boca restaurant or something, Boca Hunt restaurant or something, that took his life. He was an entrepreneur. People said he was doing well. What happened? He may have actually undergone, he may have actually experienced setback, but that resilience, which is a key skill to succeed in business, he probably didn't have it. Because he didn't have that resilience, he couldn't bounce back from setback. So it is one thing to actually desire certain things for your child, have a vision. It's another thing to prepare them for the path of the vision. It is what we are doing in the Visionary Parent Academy. We start by crafting our vision. After then, every other thing we do is towards our vision. And like I said yesterday in the orientation class, I cannot take action for you. If you don't take your action, then you are so on your own. You would have wasted your time, your data, your time you're supposed to be using to scroll social media, listen to Sabinus and Kiki. You wasted the time listening to me if you are not taking action. Even if you're not a visionary parent, you're not in the Visionary Parent Academy, you are here watching and you not take action, you also would have wasted your data, wasted your time. It is better you take this data and go and use to buy chewing gum. It is better, because taking action is where you get the results. So let's leave that and go further into. So I talk about financial success for your child. Aside financial success, you want spiritual success for your child. The times we are, spiritual success is a big deal. Is a big one, because you hear people asking, children of these days asking questions every now and then. Oh, this one prayed in the Bible and he got answered. I just prayed for my me to be well. God did not answer me. They already have enough reasons for them to think, are you sure there is God? Are you sure? And once they begin to doubt that, and they now come and see people who claim to be pastors, who claim to be pastors, prophet, and the rest of them, they see them misbehaving. They go on social media, they see Reverend Father caught pants down with a girl in a hotel room. They see pastor caught with a human head. They see all sorts and manners of information. Their faith, the one that you have been building in them, is shaking. Is shaking a great deal. So spiritual success is another one. One of the things I say to parents is, if you when people keep talking about, I remember someone posted commented on my post that, I should take Christianity or religion away from what I'm doing. And I said to her, Christianity is a tool. A lot of us, it put us on our toes when we were growing up. The fear of hellfire, the fear of judgment of God, it put us on our toes. It's a tool that, whether you believe in it or not, please use it as a tool. Use it as a tool to modify behavior. Use it as a tool to raise the child you actually have in mind. Whether you believe it or not, is a tool. So spiritual vision is another vision we should have for our children. Another vision you should have. Okay, I've talked about all of them. When we talk about success, let me go back to success, because it is the big one that we all think defines success, as in financial success. It's the big one we all think defines success. You need to learn skills, everyday practices that will actually make your children learn these things, such as self-discipline, such as delay gratification. You need all of this. When I see parents, when their children are old, the bond is not there. The unity is not there. I remember one time I made a post about AY and the brother. I saw a story about them, how AY helped the brothers and all of that. I put a post and I got a lot of comment. People say, in my family and this, some brothers, some people actually want you to, some siblings want to use you and all of that. It is because there is no bond in the family. It happens. So, and when this happens, it is the parents that suffer it at old age. When your child is not bonded, is not together, they are not together, they're always. I remember one time a grandma called me. A friend. She was not such a friend like that. So, but somehow I was in the house that day, and the woman called me and she was like, do I believe that her siblings, the girl and the elder brother, they are in the same city in Lagos. They've been in Lagos together for a long time, for over a decade. She said for the past 10 years in the same Lagos, they have not seen. So when I was trying to tell her that, grandma, the telephone has made things easier for us these days. We talk, we can even video talk. If we need to assist each other, we can even send money to each other through phone. They may not have time. She now said they don't even talk. They don't talk. That's our last wish for our children, to come together. Now that is a vision for her, to have a bonded family, a united family. That is a vision for her. Relationship with siblings. Some parents, some children, they are not in good relationship. They don't. I have someone who said the only reason I relate with my children is because duty demands I do it. If I don't feel guilty not giving them help, not talking to them, not calling them for the sake of calling them, I won't do it. I've met very many people. The only connection they have with their children, their parents, is that, so that my parents will bless me, so that my children will, so that my, like they say, what you do to your parents, your children will do to you. That is the only reason they actually have a relationship with their parents. No genuine relationship with their parents. And I'm sure no parents want that. It is now you create the vision. You don't want that. You want at your old age, your child should be by you. You want at your old age, your child should care for you genuinely from their heart. Is now you create that vision and you begin to walk towards that path. Now this class is getting long and it's going to get longer, so you just need to be a bit patient. So it is now you begin to create that relationship. Another major thing is, today I got a call from a certain landlady. Her tenant, a husband and wife, are fighting. She entered, they called her, she didn't interfere. The woman came and narrated her part of the story, talked and all of that. I should do Facebook Live and share a bit of it tomorrow. So if you are not following me on Facebook, please follow me. I have a program called Bedtime Echoes on Facebook every evening. So not every evening, like 5 times a week. So you should follow me on that. So she said the husband can stay in the house for months without talking to her. Most times they quarrel, and even the husband is at fault. She goes to apologize because she wants peace. The man, on the other hand, said, the woman is so stubborn, the woman is so aggressive and all of that. Now, as a parent, do you wish for your child to have a happy home? Do you wish for your child to have a broken home? Is a vision. The other day, my mom and I were talking. So someone shared a story about a relative and what she did to her husband. My mom was like, in the history of my family, nobody has ever done this. No, it can't. I told the person, I said, it can't be. I don't even believe my cousin can do a thing like this. I need to hear. I said, not until my cousin tells me with her mouth, I will not believe it, because and my mom was like, no, it's not possible in the history of our family. They just can't. They've always had that, and they have that vision that every member of the family, cousins and all of that, we are married, and we have successful marriages. It is a vision. So if that is your vision as a parent, then it is now you need to start creating that vision and start following that path. So we have a lot of areas we look at when we talk about creating vision. When we come back to the academy, we are going to look at that. The areas we look at when we talk about creating vision. We have a worksheet you are going to get today. I'm going to send to you immediately after this class. You are expected to go through it, and you start crafting your vision immediately. Remember, I said we have tasks, we have daily tasks, we have monthly tasks. They are not tasks that will overwhelm you. No, it's just like a tweak of your lifestyle. You just need to plan your time, like extra 5 minutes, extra 10 minutes is not. And just kind of be more conscious, be more patient, be more tolerant. That is basically it. There is no rocket science in yes, we are live, thank you. There's no rocket science in any of the things we are learning. So I'm going to share the worksheet immediately after this class. Now let's go to, after creating your vision, what is the next thing that happens? One thing you need to know as a parent is mindset is everything. Whether your child is going to come out successful, your child is going to come out the picture you had, mindset is everything. And our mindset is influenced by the way a person is raised and nurturing, the way you were nurtured, the events that actually happened in your life when you were being nurtured. We create a mindset, we create your mindset. Temperament plays a great role, but when it comes to adulthood, it's not much of temperament, rather it is more of personality. Personality now is the interaction between nurture and your nature, which is temperament. Your nature is your temperament, your innate wiring. Now, the way you were raised, the way you were nurtured, it is in nurture. So the interaction between your nurture and your temperament becomes your personality. So when it comes to mindset in adulthood, it is more about personality. Yes. Now, whether your child will achieve that big vision or not, it depends on your child's person. The person your child is, the mindset your child has. Now, these mindsets, they are influenced by factors that happen in our life. And these factors, the things that happen in our life, and these things happen in phases. So towards your vision, after creating your vision, the next thing you want to do is you actually want to look at the phases your child is going to go through in life towards that vision, because everything that happens to your child will either lead to that vision or will take away from that vision. For example, you want your child to be a child that how do I put it, you have a particular mindset. You want your child to be successful in marriage. Let me use that word, successful in marriage. You have a child, and in your home you are always fighting your spouse. People are always fighting. Now, there is every likelihood that your child will not be successful in marriage. Not just fighting, you are always let's say you are, and you have your own character defect that is affecting your marriage. Let's say you are someone who keeps malice. Let's say you are someone who is insecure. Let's say you are someone who is petty in certain ways. Let's say you are someone who is a lot of things. So there are very many, those things that you do on a daily basis, they are forming your child's mindset. They form your child's mindset. It is that mindset your child will take to marriage that will either determine whether the marriage will work or not. Let me give you a particular example. I have a friend who's, when his wife was pregnant, the wife had a troubled pregnancy. She was always having medical issues and all of that. At some point, she stayed in the hospital for a long time until she gave birth. One day the guy got angry and said, what is it? My mom had 14 children and he did not give us headache. She did not give us headache. What is it? That is a kind of mindset. He had a kind of mindset that, pregnancy is supposed to be smooth, or maybe the wife is faking it, or the wife wants to stress him or something like that. That was his kind of mindset he had, and he brought it to the marriage. There are some people now, where did he get his mindset from? From the way his mom was just giving birth. Like, the mom would even give birth at home. Like at home, they just call the nurse nearby, come, the mother would give birth. That was the mindset he had. I've had people who say, my father, my dad did not have to do anything. People who say, my mom did not have to work. They have that mindset and they bring it to marriage. So what happens when the woman is overwhelmed? The woman in today's world, when the woman now goes to work, in those days when the woman did not work, the woman did not go to work, they just go to the farm, they had their time, they had what they did, they had they were in charge of their lives. Like, okay, they go to the farm and come back and they could do their thing, they could handle children and all of that. And you know, in those days, one thing that also made it easier was because we lived a communal kind of life where you have uncle close by, auntie close by, sister close by. So it was easy for people to come around and help and assist. But these days it's not so. You live alone and you hardly even see your neighbor. You can live even in Nigeria, in Lagos or in other parts, you can hardly even see your neighbor. It's not so. So you now come with the mindset that, oh, my dad never picked a pin. And once my dad says, hey, all my mom is asking is how high. Once my dad says jump, all my mom is asking how high. And then you now come to that, your child comes to get into marriage with that mindset. And your daughter-in-law, unfortunately, is not like you, the mother, who will always say how high. Your daughter-in-law will be the one to say jump. Why the heck should I jump? And then they start fighting. And tomorrow you hear domestic violence. Someone hit someone in the wrong place and one thing or two things happen. You know, mindset. The mindset you are raising your child with is what your child will determine how far your child will go. And the mindset is influenced by the way you are raising your child, the environmental factors. I was sharing with someone the other day, I think I shared it on Facebook Live. I said, collaboration is a big problem we have. And you want your child to be successful financially, then we need people who are able to collaborate. But unfortunately, collaboration is one thing we don't have, a skill we don't have as a people. You see parents talking, oh, you'll be greater than your friend. You'll be greater than when parents are praying for their children, you'll be the head and not the tail. You'll be greater than you'll be greater than you'll be greater than your mates. You know, you'll be the giver and not beggar. They are good prayers, quite all right. But do you realize those prayers are putting a kind of competitive mindset in your child's head? They are putting a certain competition in your child's head. Why does your child need to be greater than the friend? The friend should be great. You should be great. Everybody should be great together. Everybody should be great together. It is not a competition. We are not on the same path. That is the truth. I'm an engineer, you are a lawyer, I'm an architect, you are a designer. We are not on the same path. If we are great together, we are able to live happily together. We are able to readily help each other. You know, those kind of things, they put mindsets. They create mindset in the children's head. Greater. So when it's time to collaborate, and nobody wants to collaborate. Everybody wants to be the head. After all, my parents said I'll be the head and not the tail. Everybody wants to be the head. I want to have my own thing and be the head. So I always say to people, which is better? To be second in command in Dangote Group or to be first in command in a mushroom struggling space? Which is better? But unfortunately, we create this mindset in the minds of our children. Yes, my mindset. We create this mindset in the mind of our children. This mindset is one of the reasons, one of the things that will either determine whether these children will achieve their goals, their vision, they will succeed, they will achieve the vision we actually have in mind or not. So what you want to do is you create your vision. After the vision you have created, you sit back and look at what are the factors that will help me achieve this vision for my child. What are the things I need to put in place? Remember, your child will pass through phases in life. They are all part of creating your vision. Now, this is why in the Visionary Parents Academy, we just don't create our long-term vision. We create our visions, milestones vision, because every milestone leads to the big vision. Every milestone is a step closer to the main vision. Let's look at Aaron Kelly, successful in career, but there was a time in his life he missed it. Sexual abuse and all of that. he missed it there. The parent missed it there. He didn't get healing. Nothing. So what happened? Even when he became successful in his career, that particular phase that did not align with his vision came to play. Let's even look at Emily Varokel that is far alone. Let's look at Nigeria. We have lecturers every now and then who are dismissed for demanding feminine favor. We have that. We have people who are dismissed from companies every now and then for fraud. So what is the matter? The thing is, every phase in a child's life, it is what you need to set vision for. You need to realize that your child is going to pass through phases. Any phase your child passes, however your child navigates that phase, will determine the mindset your child has. It is that mindset your child will grow with to get to that big vision. So what do you want to do? As you create your long-term vision, you want to create your short-term vision. Your child is, you have a child now who is still a toddler. Your child is going to go to primary 1. When your child gets to primary 1, what are the challenges your child is going to face? What are the things, the factors, what are the things your child is going to face? They are going to shape your child's mindset. And that mindset is going to affect your vision. So what are the things your child is going to face in that next phase of his life? Your child is going to leave grade 1. Your child is going to go to the next major phase, let's say grade 6, going to JSS1. Or let's say, so what are the things your child is going to face in that next phase? What are the things? Your child is going to face peer pressure. Your child is going to face bullying. Your child is going to face distraction, social media distraction. Your child is going to face people telling him or her, oh, forget about God. God does not exist. If God exists, why is this and that like this and that? Your child is going to face that. Your child is going to face a whole lot of things, self-esteem issues. These are the things your child is going to face. So what you want to do as a parent, for every single milestone, create your parenting vision. For every single milestone, create your parenting vision. In the academy, we are going to identify these milestones, and then we'll look at what we can possibly create. Because the whatever happens there, your vision guides your parenting choices. Your parenting choices nurtures the child in certain ways, create a mindset for the child that will ultimately affect the vision. Let me share something quickly. During this Christmas holiday, we went somewhere. My husband and I went to visit a relative, and we got there. You know, as he came to visit a relative, he gave the little girl there, less than 2 years, was working quite smart, gave him some money. So as soon as she got the money, guess what she did? She went to the shop nearby. She couldn't walk very well, she was walking, with her diaper and all of that. funny steps. She went to the shop that was close by. She just dropped the money there. She picked a bottle of fixie drink. She picked biscuits that were not even up to 1/10 of the money. And then she came back. That was it. At that age, she was already being nurtured to see money, and the next thing is spend the money. And tomorrow the parent will say, I want to raise financially successful child. If they don't stop that on time, you can have a child in a shop, you are selling things in a shop, you can begin to put structure in place, and your child will still blame to the child wasn't hungry. If she was hungry to the different ball game, she wasn't hungry because she knew where the food was. But she has associated money with what we call sweet mouth. And tomorrow you want such a child to be financially successful. Yes, it's possible. The child is going to meet opportunity. Opportunity may come for the child, yes. But what happens? Will the child be able to manage resources? We've seen people. I once worked in a company where the man, his salary was, I don't know, his salary would have been able to care for him and his family, live a moderate lifestyle. But no, when he was sent out, when the external auditors came, they were talking about the money this man was earning, this money that the man couldn't account for. I was like, are you kidding me? What did you do with all this money? That was when we begin to realize that his designer watches were not fake. His glasses, his clothes, his house that he said his brother built and his brother gave him an apartment were all lies. Where he would have been able to live, cut his cloth according to his cloth or his how they say it. Nah. So that is it. You have a vision. Your child is going to face milestones. These milestones are going to create a mindset for your child. This mindset is what will affect your vision. It is why very many parents have visions they cannot. The visions don't come to reality because the children have a different mindset. The mindset that will not win that vision. I've seen parents, they struggle to put their children in school. They do so much. At the end of the school, the children, they go to school, they face bullying. The next thing, they join court activities. That is the mindset. It is only to join court I can fight this bully. A certain mindset. And at the end of the day, they lose their lives and the parents are in pain. Mindset will help your child a great deal to achieve your vision. It is what you need to deliberately start nurturing in your child. Winning mindset. When I mean winning mindset, the mindset to win your vision, your parenting vision. What I said is, I've given you a couple of tasks you want to do here. The first thing I said is headline. What headline do you want your child to make? Write it down. Let it be your vision. The headline I want my child to make. When my child is 50 years old, I want my child to make this headline. That's the first task I gave you. The second task I'm giving you is go and find people making this headline. Look at people making these headlines. Remember, it is not just one headline. So you can have a headlines, XYZ, married for the 50 years, celebrating marriage and 50 years marriage anniversary. It is a headline. If you want marriage, marital success for your child, that should be a headline you should pen down. Talk about living healthy. You want to say, okay, a 75-year-old woman running 100 something marathon. You know, it is a headline. That is health goal, health vision for your child. You actually want your child to, you want to have that vision for your child. You want your child to always be healthy. Recently, someone was sharing with me about one man who is very sick in the hospital. He said he has to be amputated. However, the spot for him to be amputated was an issue. Now, why was he amputated? Why was he going to be amputated? Because the man is diabetic, and they said, according to the woman, this man's sister, the man has known his health condition for a long time, a very, very long time, decades. The man has known his health condition, but the man has never, ever taken it seriously. She said, diabetic, he eats late, he drinks, everything the doctor told him not to do years ago, they are his major lifestyle. They are his lifestyle. He comes home late in the middle of the night and he eats that. Even when he comes from his base, where his family is, his wife and his children are, when he comes to visit his parents, his mom is like, okay, my son doesn't eat this, doesn't eat, he takes a little of carbohydrate. Okay, let me not do carbohydrate. Let me go and just cook something for him, you know. The mom will cook it and say, leave this thing, leave this plantain, leave all these things, I beg, give me fufu. The mom will even want to help him preserve his health. No. I know that sometimes we are not responsible for this health that happens to us. I'm not referring to that. I'm referring to what we can actually handle, what we can manage. That is health goal, health vision for your child. You actually have a health vision. So what headline do you want? If your child is going to make headline when it comes to health, what headline will your child make? If your child is going to make headline when it comes to marriage, what headline will your child make? If your child is going to make headline when it comes to finance, what headline will your child make? Now, this is the first thing I want you to put down. And the second thing, and the second task I said you should do is to go and research people who are making these headlines. People who have these headlines, how were they raised? How were they raised? Was it luck? Was it intentionality? If it was luck, how did the luck happen? How did the luck happen? If it's intentionality, what were they intentional about? What was their script? you want to go and check that out and follow it. Then I told you to also create your long-term vision. Create your long-term vision. And I also told you to create short-term vision. Now, short-term visions, I'll call it, because your child will pass through phases. Okay. Oh, a WhatsApp message. Your child will pass through phases in life. These phases your child will pass through, they will form the experiences will form his mindset, and that mindset will affect the overall vision. So go and look at the major phases your child will pass through in life. Your child will meet people who will tell him, oh, you are too tall, you are too short, you are too dark, you are too thin, your buttocks is flat, you have pimples on your face. Your child will meet those people. Those are phases. Your child will meet someone who will tell him or her that, oh, you have pimples on your face because you are not having carnal knowledge of a man. Your daughter will be told that. And then the daughter will say, okay, I don't want to have pimples on my face, so let me go and meet a man so that I don't have pimples on my face. And then maybe something happens in the process. Your daughter gets pregnant. That may affect the overall vision. Your son will go to school and they say, I have a video I share with my children. I have a video I share with my children. I'm going to share it in the Visionary Parent Academy if I find the video, because it's relevant to this. It's a video of a boy who was waiting by the roadside. You know, he had a woman stop by a bus. She sat with him, and the woman forgot her bag there, her handbag. The boy took the handbag and was looking for the woman. He was running. Now the video is kind of suspense. Where the boy is looking for the woman, you will not know. You think the boy was trying, because the boy was going through corners. She knew the woman was on a major road. The woman entered the bus on a major road, but the corner where he gave the bag to the woman, he knew a shortcut. He knew the bus was going to stop at the next bus stop. Is it bus or train? So he knew the corner to that place. So he was passing through that corner. You get my picture? So it was like suspect as if he was going to steal the bag and hide the bag. And eventually he saw the woman and gave the woman the bag. Guess what? All this while, the policemen saw him and they were pursuing him. They were following him. The policemen followed they couldn't follow the corner in between was. They followed the main path. That was how the boy gave the bag to the woman, and the policemen were impressed. They shared the snacks they had with the boy. It is a video I always use my children in school and at home. Teach them the purpose of vision, how character skills can help you achieve your vision. Imagine if that boy, the parent had a vision for the boy to be a particular, maybe, let's say a doctor, for example, and the boy had stolen that bag and put that bag away. What do you think would have happened? The police would have arrested him and probably taken him to jail. That would definitely have affected that vision. If they are taking him to jail, maybe he will meet bad guys there who will further influence him, or maybe he will spend a number of time there, and at the end of when he comes back, he feels, oh, I beg, what is the use? I'm no longer interested. That would have affected the vision. But guess what? Because the boy had integrity, he did not take the path that would take him out of his vision. Mindset. If his mindset was, the woman forgot his bag, it's not my fault now, I not thief am, I see am pick. If he had that mindset, I not thief am, I see am pick, what would have happened? He didn't have that mindset. Rather, he did not have that mindset. He had the mindset of, oh, this bag is not mine, let me return it. It is mindset. So I said, look for the phases that your child will, the things your child will experience that will form a mindset in your child. The phases your child will pass through in life, different phases. Your child will get to campus, university. Those are phases. Your child everybody around him will be smoking. Everybody around him will be betting, Naija Bet and Bet King and all of that. Everybody around him will be betting. Everybody around him will be doing Yahoo Plus. The girl in the next compound will come and wear bikini and be dangling around her, around him. The boy in the next compound will tell him, oh, will tell her, no, it's not what you think. Even the girl there will say, no, it's girl to girl, you won't get pregnant. These are experiences your child will go through, and these are the experiences that will either take your child closer to the vision or take your child away from the vision. So I said, apart from crafting your main vision, your long-term vision, you also want to craft your short-term visions for your child, because these phases your child will go through will lead to the big vision eventually. Thank you so much for joining me. I think I should stop here. It's actually 1 hour on the dot. Like I said, we are going back to the group. Our conversation, our classes are supposed to be just 30 minutes, so that we can go to the group and finish it up, because 8 to 8:30, then 8:30 to 9, at most 9:30 we are done, and everyone prepares for the following day. So, but unfortunately today is very long. I do a lot of talking. I talk for a living, so and I'm very passionate about what I do. When I start talking, I don't want to stop. So we go back to the group to finish our conversation. So thank you so much for joining. If you are a visionary parent, come to the group, get your ebook, get your worksheet, and get starting. We are holding you accountable. You are crafting your parenting vision, and all other things you have to do, you are doing them. You also have tasks to do for the week. You are doing them for the month. You are doing them. If you are not a visionary parent, you want to join us and see how we do in the group, feel free, leave a message there that you want to join us, or send me a private message that you want to join us, and you will join the group. I tell you, it is highly transformational. It is highly transformational. If you join the Visionary Parent Academy, you will ask yourself, where have I been? All right, thank you very much. My name is Enime Orebo. See you next time. Bye bye.